Okay, so we're going to continue the writing again, and I have another PowerPoint to show you. Some of these exercises that are in the PowerPoint, we will do in class on Sunday and throughout the week. The online students will do at home, and you must look at the weekly plan to know what assignments are due on what day, okay? So make sure you check the weekly plan every day or for the week. All right, first of all, the 6 traits of writing. All right, okay, this is an interactive guide for each trait. These are the traits: ideas and content, word choice, organization, sentence fluency, voice, and conventions, okay? Ideas and content. What does this picture have to do with ideas and content in writing? We know when we see this little picture, it is usually above someone's head and they're thinking about something, okay? What do I need to know about ideas and content? It's all about FIDO. Focus. Make sure your writing is focused on your main idea or thesis. Interesting. Make your writing interesting by including unique ideas. Details. Make sure to include details that will make the topic real to those of us that are reading your essay. Original. Make your writing original by including ideas that are unique to you, okay? And you will see that we'll get to pages and you'll have 2 paragraphs, A and B. You're going to read them, and based on what you just learned, which paragraph has better ideas and content. So you will read both of them. You will choose the one that you think is the better, and you'll write down 3 reasons or pieces of evidence that support your answer, okay? Word choice. The difference between the right word and the almost right word is like the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. This is a quote from Mark Twain. What does this quote mean in relation to writing? Again, after this, you have 2 paragraphs to read and give 3 reasons or pieces of evidence to support your answer. What do I need to know about word choice? It's all about PIVFL in your words. First, precision. You have to be very precise. Use the right word, not almost the right word. If you come to me and I circled a word or words and said, this is used in the wrong context, don't look at me and say, but Miss Lynn, it's almost the same. Almost does not count in writing, guys. Imagery. Show, do not tell. Show the reader what you mean by using colorful or descriptive words to describe your subject. Variation. Use a variety of different words. Don't repeat the same words too often. It ends up sounding very silly. Figurative language. We've already went through all the figurative language that you can use in your essay, okay? Again, here's a paragraph. Let's see if you can revise it to have better word choice and use the previous guide, okay, to help you. Organization. What does this graphic make you think of when it comes to writing? And how does it relate to organization? Again, you're going to draw some little squares in your notebook. And this is what it means. What do I need to know about organization? It's all about PHOT, parts. Make sure your piece of writing has all the parts that it should. For example, if you're writing an essay, which you are, it should have an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. It should have a hook. Make sure to get the reader interested right away by using a lead to hook him or her. Order. Make sure you've put your paragraphs in an order that makes sense. And transitions, very important. Use transition words to move smoothly from one idea to the next. Ways to hook your reader. You can tell a little anecdote or short story that goes with the topic that you'll be writing about. You can use figurative language, okay, a startling statistic, depending on what you're writing about. And you can use and explain a thoughtful quote. Have your reader put him or herself in the story. For example, imagine coming home after school and finding your house burned to the ground. This is what deforestation is like to thousands of species of animals worldwide. This is an example if you're writing on the earth and the extinction of certain animals and what the forest fires do. This is an example of what you would put in your, to hook your reader. All right, next, you start in the middle of the story. Crash. My body slammed into the car and my limp body flew through the air. Here you can almost hear what it sounded like when his body slammed into the car. And you could almost feel his limp body as it flew through the air, okay? And you can also hook your reader by asking a question, okay? These are common transitions. And I think you know in your grammar textbook and online, you can find hundreds more. This is a very small example. But you need to be familiar with transitions, okay? So based on what you just learned, which paragraph has better organization? Again, you're going to choose the one that you think is better organized and give 3 reasons or pieces of evidence to support your opinion, okay? Sentence fluency. What do you think these words have to do with sentence fluency? Have a look at them. Phase, easy, fluent, graceful, motion. What do I need to know about sentence fluency? Sentence fluency is all about varying BLT in your sentences. B is for beginning. Start your sentences differently. Don't start every sentence with I, the, a, any same words. Make sure you're careful about that. Length. We discussed this already. Use some short, some medium, and some long sentences. Types of sentences. Use simple, compound, and complex sentences in your essay. Okay, let's look at a passage with great sentence fluency. Again, you're going to read this. Let me read this to you. This is an excerpt out of the book To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I don't know if anyone has read that book. It's an excellent book. But anyway, she wrote, summer came and Deal was not there. Deal is a boy in the novel. I received a letter and a snapshot from him. The letter said he had a new father whose picture was enclosed and he would have to stay in Meridian because they planned to build a fishing boat. His father was a lawyer like Atticus, only much younger. Deal's new father had a pleasant face, which made me glad Deal had captured him, but I was crushed. Deal concluded by saying he would love me forever and not to worry. He would come get me and marry me as soon as he got enough money together. So please write. The fact that I had a permanent fiance was little compensation for his absence. I had never thought about it, But summer was Deal by the fish pool. Deal's eyes alive with complicated plans to make Boo Radley emerge. Summer was the swiftness with which Deal would reach up and kiss me when Jim was not looking. The way we sometimes felt each other feel. With him, life was routine. Without him, life was unbearable. I stayed miserable for 2 days. Okay, so keeping BLT in mind, what do you notice about sentence fluency in this passage? Let's look at varying sentence length. When do you think you'd use each length of sentence? Example, a fragment, crash, whoosh, okay? Short sentence, I stayed miserable for 2 days. The next one is considered a medium sentence. Deal's new father had a pleasant face, comma, which made me glad Deal had captured him, comma, but I was crushed. And the last one is considered to be a long sentence. So don't write a sentence like the medium one and call that a long sentence, because in writing, the last one is considered long. And she says, the fact that I had a permanent fiance was little compensation for his absence. I had never thought about it, but summer was Deal by the fish pool. Deal's eyes alive with complicated plans to make Boo Radley emerge. Summer was the swiftness with which Deal would reach up and kiss me when Jim was not looking, the way we sometimes felt each other feel. Okay? Types of sentences to use, simple. Contains one independent clause. John and Sarah went to the beach. Next, compound sentences. Contains 2 independent clauses glued to each other with a comma and a conjunction. John and Sarah went to the beach, comma, and conjunction. They flew kites over the water. And then last, you have a complex sentence. A complex sentence contains 1 independent clause and 1 subordinate clause. We're studying these now. While John and Sarah were at the beach, comma, they flew kites over the water. Okay, based on what you just learned, which paragraph has better sentence fluency? Again, you're going to choose the one that you think is the better one. Give your reasons or pieces of evidence to support your answer. Voice. Fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. That's a quote by William Wordsworth. What does this quote mean, and what does it have to do with voice and writing? What do I need to know about voice? And if you notice, these words spell out P. First one is personality. Show your personality by using personal details, jokes, and favorites. Emotion. Show that you're committed to the topic by using words that convey your emotions. If you remember the boy that went whitewater rafting, he put a lot of emotion. He started out by telling us that he felt sick to his stomach. And why? Because he's so afraid of water, okay? He has a fear of drowning. And then last, your audience. Always keep your audience in mind and use details, examples, and words suited to that person, okay? Based on what you just learned, which paragraph has better voice? Again, you're going to choose the one that you think is best, okay? And then we have conventions. Misplaced modifiers, periods, spelling, punctuation, commas, colons, exclamation points. Based on this graphic, what would you fix when editing for conventions? What do I need to know about conventions? First, punctuation. Make sure you've used in punctuation, full stop, exclamation points, question marks, commas, any other punctuation marks that need to be used. Indenting. Check that you've indented at the beginning of each paragraph and before any dialogue. Grammar, check that you have not made grammatical errors. And of course, spelling. There is absolutely no reason to have spelling mistakes. You have a dictionary and you have spell check on your computers. Based on what you've just learned, which paragraph has better conventions? You know what to do. Okay? Let's go back to the beginning. Now, what questions do you have for me? Yes, Bamika. Can you hear me, Bamika?
Yes, Miss Lynn.
Okay, what question?
I don't have any question.
Oh, your hand was raised.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay, so what questions does anyone have? You understand everything on here, okay? What's your biggest concern about writing the essay? So you're all ready to write.
Miss Lynn, I just want to understand the last one, conventions.
Conventions, okay, let's go back. Okay. Conventions is punctuation, grammar, spelling, and indenting, okay? Of course, Emma, make sure you use in punctuation. Make sure you use quotation marks around your dialogue. Use commas and any other punctuation marks. You might decide you'd like to use a colon or a semicolon, okay? Just make sure you put them in the correct place. If you have any doubts, you can always open your grammar book and look up, let's say, semicolon, when to use a semicolon. And by the way, if you don't even know when to use a semicolon, put a semicolon in your mind and put at least one in your essay. Go to your book and read the rule of where to use the semicolon and just pop it in there, okay? Indenting. Now, oh, I forgot to mention this on indenting. When you indent, okay, you have to indent when you start a new paragraph or when different people start speaking. Like if I'm speaking right now, you would indent. But if Sam started to speak, you would indent again because you have a new speaker. Everyone understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How do you indent? Do not hit the space bar 5 times. Hit the tab button once, and it will automatically indent for you. Don't hit the space button. Hit the indent button, or the tab, I'm sorry. Does everyone understand that and they know where it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, grammar. Make sure that you have not made any grammatical errors. You don't want to use slang language. Remember, an essay is formal writing, especially when you turn it into a teacher for a grade, okay? Now, while I'm on this, before I forget, I've already added in SMS and under your writing folder, a sheet that shows what your essay should look like according to MLA. So everyone needs to have a look so you'll have an idea, okay? If you have any questions, let me know, or ask Sunday in class if you need me to show you something, all right? And then lastly, Selma, we have spelling. First thing I would tell any student, turn on the spell check on your laptop or your computer, whatever you're using, okay? And then have a dictionary close by, okay? So you can double check if you need to. Any questions, Selma?
Yes, Miss Lynn, I just want to know exactly what will we give you? The essay and the drafts only?
I will look, y'all have the same question, grade 10. In your writing notebook, you will have your draft. That's where I want you to do your drafting at, okay? If you need more room than a sheet of paper in your notebook, then take a sheet of copy paper, and you can always just staple it in your notebook. But I want to see that you brainstormed first, okay? First of all, I want to see that you did what is on page, wait 1 second, let me go back and get the first page. Where did our writing start at? 160, oh, okay. All right, on page 175. You see how the chart is made there? It has written narrative, and then in the other column, it has informal speech. I want you to put your notes in here. Does everyone understand? Can you see page 175?
Yes.
Okay. See, he has written narrative, and he wrote a rafting trip to the Grand Canyon, blah, blah, blah. And then informal speech. You should have seen the grin on my face when my dad told me about our next family vacation, okay? I want you to have like this in your notebook. I want to make sure for the first essay that everyone in the class did every single step that they were supposed to. Example. 1 second. Go to page, all right, we've already said page 171. There are 3 different little tiny charts here. Okay? Well, actually, there's 4 things. Analyze the prompt, choose a story, consider your audience, and list the details. So I want you to open up your notebook, your writing notebook, and if you can get all these on 1 page, okay, 2 on 1 page, I don't care. I want to see where you wrote the first thing. See the writing prompt? You write a personal narrative, describe a meaningful experience in your life. Your narrative should explain the significance of the experience and include details that help readers visualize the characters and unfolding events. So this is what you should have in your mind. This should be about an event that's important to me. I have to include lots of vivid details and explain why I think the event is important. I want you to write those exact words for this in your book. This will be the only thing that you will copy the words of out of the book. Now let's go to number 2. I want you to write down 4 different experiences in your life that were important to you. And in the end, I want you to circle the most important because that's what you're going to write about. You understand that part? Does anyone not understand this part? No questions? Okay.
Miss, we need to choose between three events that happen in our life, yes?
Yes.
And write it in our...
I would actually say write 4. If you can only come up with 3, okay, but no less than 3. Believe me, you may think you have a boring life, but you have 3 to 4 great experiences that you can write about. It might take you a day or 2 to realize it, but believe me, you do, okay? Maybe something you forgot about. It doesn't mean it wasn't important. Maybe it happened a long time ago, okay? All right, and number 3, you're going to write 3 columns, and under audience, you're going to write teacher, classmates. The second column, information, you can notice he wrote why he was scared, okay? The experience that he had when he was 10 years old. And then he wrote about details about rafting. You're going to do the same thing, except yours, of course, will be different. And then in the third column, the purpose. He said, I will show that fear seems real, but they can be faced and sometimes conquered. You will write, I will show that, and whatever you want to show us from your story. Whether it's a lesson, an experience, or you had to learn something from it, okay? And then you're going to do number 4. You're going to take the 5 senses. For example, sound. Remember, he could hear the water whooshing, okay? So he wrote that under sound. He said it sounded like the rafters were yelling. So he wrote that down. He also wrote what he saw. The water looked like it was boiling. And he also had a touch. He said the ropes on the raft were rough. They felt rough in his hands, okay? All of this was while he was in the raft. So you're going to have the same thing, except your experience, if your experience was outside, on the street, in a restaurant, in a car, you still have smell, you still have sight, you still have touch, and you have what else? Give me another sense. Maybe taste. Maybe you were in a car and you started choking. You understand what I'm saying? It depends on the situation that you are in. Okay, so I'm going to look for that in your notebook. And then if you go to page 172, you see 3 more things. 173, the same thing. I want to make sure that you write the best possible essay. This is why I'm going through all of this, guys. Okay? I know it's not a fun thing. I realize that. But you will be much better writers once you conquer all of this. All right, what other questions you have? Summer, does that answer your question about conventions?
Yes, Miss Lynn, thank you.
I'm sorry. Hannah?
Miss, this is all due on Sunday, right?
No. No, not all of this is due on Sunday. I want y'all to follow the weekly plan in SMS. I take a lot of time to write all of this. Now, your weekly plan for this week, it'll be a little bit later tonight when I get it on, but it will be there tonight. It may be late, but I'll put it on there, inshallah. I will give you what days when to do it. Now, the advantage that you have, Hannah, if you're in class, we will finish a lot of this during the class sessions. However, the online students will have to do this for a homework assignment.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Remember, online students, you finish your assignments almost every single day in class, right or wrong?
Right, Miss.
Okay.
Yes, Miss.
All right. So, but the online students, they will have to do it for homework unless they get the weekly plan and they get a head start, up to them. But it'll still be due at the same time. All right, what other questions you have? Also, we will do the paragraphs that I showed you in this PowerPoint in class. Again, the online students will have to do them at home. But all of this goes in your writing notebook. And please keep it organized, please. I don't want to have to flip through pages to find something. For example, go in your literature book first and start on the very first page that we have on writing and do what's there. Anyway, on the weekly plan, I'll have the page numbers on there, okay? What other questions? All I want you to worry about for the weekend is studying for your grammar quiz if you feel like you need studying, okay? I appreciate the patience that you have. You are a very mature and responsible class, and I'm very proud to be your teacher. Just want you to know that. All right?
Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome.
you.
I mean it. I'm not just telling you that. You know, I usually
Listen,
don't.
we're very proud to have you too.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
I don't want you to think I'm just saying it because you're here with me. I sincerely mean it. I really appreciate this class. I love this class. Okay. All right. Any more questions? All right, then we'll end our session for today. I want you to have a good weekend. Try not to spend the whole entire time studying, okay? You're a smart class. I have no doubts that you're going to pass the grammar quiz with flying colors, okay? Bye for now.
Bye, Miss Lynn.
Bye, Miss Lynn. Thank you so much.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.
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 Bye.